Yep, we're moving some stuff today. We got a drive shaft in the brown box. We got 2 axles in the white box. This is a Alcantara sunroof slider that's going to Michigan, Michigan, and Michigan. To different people, oddly enough. So that took forever to pack up. The boxes aren't really strong enough for that stuff, so I have to use a ton of tape to reinforce it. But since I filmed around in here, we're down 2 axles that I just talked about. We sold a diff, sold a drive shaft. I still have some more. And I have a DME sale pending. I'm working on a guy with the engine, trying to get that gone. I got another transmission, that transmission sale pending. And before this flashing battery light puts the kibosh on the vlog, this is a Ford Mustang engine. I can't really tell you much more than that. There is a plaque on it. Alex was in here working with my neighbor here at the shop to take it out of the car. I guess it's got rod knock and needs to get rebuilt. Ford. Hand built with pride, SVT Ford Romeo niche line. I have no idea what that means. 5.8 liter 4-valve Shelby GT500. Apparently it makes over 800 horsepower, which is just a ludicrous amount of horsepower. Look how big the cylinder heads are. It's just massive. It's a really, really big engine, and I'm super impressed with the shift linkage. Makes BMW stuff just look like absolute shit. Look at this. Is this factory? I have no idea. It says Tremec transmission on top. I guess they make the transmissions for Ford. But that shift linkage is miles above what BMW is probably even doing today, because they don't work on manuals. They don't do manuals anymore. But looks like a 90-degree V8 with it's just a lot bigger than that. But it makes twice the horsepower, so that makes sense. The thing with a cat is, if you put something on a table or a counter that isn't normally there, like a laptop briefcase, they just decide that I'm gonna sit on this. This looks comfortable. Huh? Hey, good evening. What do we got? Apple Watch says text message from Ken at 9:45. He's back in Ohio. It was really good to see him and have him come out for a couple of days. Today was productive. I shipped some stuff out, as I mentioned before. The one order of the drive shaft and axles actually includes a differential too, so I'm going to get to that later this week, get that out. But today is a one-man operation. That's what I was able to get done. And kind of a lot of little stuff today too. A lot of Facebook messages and replying to people. I have a customer in Norway who's interested in a DME, and apparently USPS is actually relatively reasonable to ship to Norway compared to say what FedEx would be. But believe it or not, I've actually got Silverstone back down here in Poway tonight, which is nice. I haven't driven this car but like 2 times in the last couple of weeks, which is annoying. For 2 reasons. One, I want to drive the other car and get some miles on it and gain some confidence in that car, so when I do go to list that car, I can very confidently say this thing's perfect. It runs really well. We've put a ton of miles on it, and the only problem that we've run into is that signal stock that I replaced last week. And then secondly, it's been raining a lot, and if I don't have to drive mine in the rain, I'd rather not. So that is that. I had leftovers tonight. My dad got a pizza from OG's. We've been watching some movie on Netflix called Irishman, or The Irishman. We're both tired, half fallen asleep on the couch, and I keep thinking it's got to be almost over, it's got to be almost over. So I Google it real quick because my phone's closer than the Apple TV remote. It turns out the movie is 3 hours and 30 minutes long. How is there a 3.5-hour movie? That's ridiculous. So we paused it. We'll resume it tomorrow. There's 1 hour and 15 minutes left. That's really long. I mean, it's a good movie. It's got De Niro in it and Ray Romano. I can't do that voice for shit. But it's been interesting. So tomorrow, Tuesday, what do we got to do? 1, I want to catch up on vlogs. I'm like a week behind on them again, and that's ridiculous. So we'll catch up on that. Part 2, back to the shop. Got to work on packaging the diff. I've got pending sales-ish, pending conversations rather, on a transmission, on an engine, on some interior stuff. So I've got to follow up with all of that, and then list some stuff, and I've got to clear out some of that inventory. We've got way too much stuff in there right now. With that, I'm going to sleep. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, Tuesday. Good night.